Hello again. So after we have discussed the policies and procedures, which maybe you have noticed that all of them are not really networking skills for you, not even security skills for an engineer to know about them, but all of them are applied from a called like administration or an administrative perspective. All of those solutions from an administrative perspective. I've talked about that. The administrative mitigation solution comes in two methods, or maybe can be described in two ways. It's applied from an administrative perspective and from the administrative or the administrator of the network. So for the administrator of the network solution, what he will do is that he is responsible now about the passwords inside the company or inside the network. The passwords are very, very important because the passwords of the emails of the employees and their credentials, which are the username and passwords for each employee to access the common system of the company, the accounting system, the billing system, the sailing system, the technical support system, the network engineers common ticketing system. Between them there is something called ticketing system. It comes from the term ticket, which is issuing like an email send it to all the employees from one department to another, asking them to do a job or maybe to do a task from their side and reply it back to us. Something like where mostly you will face this when your company or your network serves customer. So a customer will issue a ticket to your company and your company, the first department will deal with it. In case the first department couldn't solve the ticket, the department will redirect the same ticket to another company, to another department, to a third department, etc., until the ticket and the issue of the customer is solved. So passwords are, there is a password to access this ticketing system. There is a password for the emails. There is a password for the what's called the HR page or the HR program or system, which each employee have a username and password to access his own vacation balance system. This is the place where an employee would like to announce or request a vacation, a leave, maybe an hourly leave, etc. Okay, or maybe a sick leave or a sick vacation, etc. So this is very important. This is a third password that the employee needs to know about them, needs to know about maybe other types of billing system, sailing system, and accounting system. All of those are usernames and passwords. The username is something normal because mostly it will be the username of the employee. So everyone in the company would know that John, his username for every system is John. Maybe that's it. That's simplicity. But the passwords are the big consideration to know about or to consider about or to take care about. So the passwords, these are something that the network administrator should aware all of the employees about them. We should aware them about the length or the length of the password, the characters. Maybe it's a minimum of 18, 8 up to 16 character. It's not all about 3 characters where your password would be like maybe 1, 2, 3 and that's it. This will be hacked immediately. Anyone can guess this password. It can't be ABC or it can't be that's it. Minimum it should be 8 up to 16. But after 8 up to 16, maybe it would be from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. That as simple as that. This is a password? No, this is not a password. This is a joke for passwords. So there comes complexity, where there will be some rules to be applied to be checked to your password before the system of generating a password would accept those digits as a password. So you need some rules like upper and lower case numbers and symbols. And most of you nowadays, whenever they want to establish a new account, create a new account to log in whatever web page or a website in the world, you see that there are some policies to the password when you come to generate your own password. And mostly all of those terms are now common and clear to you, and most of you have used it already when you want to create maybe your account at cisco.com, google.com, facebook.com, twitter, etc. All of those are asking for a really strong password. This is for your protection, not just the company protection, but also for your protection, because Most of those do carry your personal information. So that means that your personal information, money transaction, salary, vacation policy will be stolen or maybe corrupted by a hacker. So this is really important also to protect yourself and your personal data, not just about protecting the company or the network that you work within. So you can see that those are rules. Maybe you need to use minimum 8 digits in your password, but there must contain upper and a lowercase. Maybe I will use my name as S capital and the rest of them are small case and an uppercase, and after that maybe I need numbers and symbols. So let's make it a dollar symbol, maybe an query, and 1 2 3. This is really strong. Actually, I would never use such password. This is not my password at all. But this is now really complicated for a hacker to guess because there are letters that he doesn't know the distribution of letters how it is, which cases are up or letters are in uppercase and which are in the lowercase. There is symbols, but what symbols? This is not something easy to guess. There are numbers, but which numbers? How many numbers? You see? So now you have made the password really complicated and no one can guess it or hack your network or your credentials or your account, etc. This is really important to know. After that, we come to the age. There is something called a password age, a password minimum age, and a password maximum age. The password minimum age is like maybe the most resilient system that you can change your password is your email because you can change your email password email from time to time, and also you can change the password of your vacation system, your balance system, okay, for allowance and per diem, etc. So this is really important to know because the maximum age, which is the most common thing that you will hear about, is that the maximum age of this password before it gets expired. And after a password gets expired, each employee in the company must change their password. This is really important nowadays because hackers are developing tools to discover passwords or maybe to implement like 1 million try or 1 million guessing of a password until they figure out your password. And this will take time just to figure one password. So the good thing is that you need to change your password maybe at minimum every 3 months. So network administrator must make or apply a policy that all the company employees, all their passwords have a maximum age of 3 months. So after 3 months, all of the employees must change their passwords. Just in case some of the passwords were known or hacked, we will change it. Maybe we can change it before it even get hacked because if it was hacked, then that's it. We have lost. But we need to change it from time to time because maybe this happens sometimes. Some employee by mistake do know his friend's password. So if he knows, then maybe someday he will do it for whatever reason and he will access his account. But changing this every 3 months will avoid this, will make you really avoid this vulnerability or this threat upon your account. So it's important to change it every from time to time, but this is called the maximum age. The minimum age of password is like the minimum duration of time that I'm allowed to change my password in. It's like if I applied a new password today, maybe I can't change it from up to 5 days from now. This is the minimum age. Without the minimum age, then an employee can change his password like every 10 minutes. This is really annoying because this to use some of the network resources and also having all this amount of passwords changed will get you like in something very risky, which is that if there is someone in the network that is sniffing your network and is spying on your connection between you and the password servers, and he is recording all of the passwords that you are changing. So maybe in one day you have changed 3 passwords, he will record all of those. Maybe in the next day you did change it again, and after a week you have used more like 15 or 30 passwords in a week. All of those passwords, human brain would generate very limited amount of passwords for himself. So a sniffer in the network, a hacker in the network did sniff all of those passwords. So now he have only 3 possibility of a password. Just in case in the next week you did want to settle on a single password, mostly it will be one of those 30 passwords that you have used before. because your brain is no longer helping you or aiding you in generating a new password. So you'll use the password that is one of those 30, and that's it, you're hacked. Because the hacker now knows 30 passwords. He will try all of those 30 passwords in a matter of like 60 minutes, and after that he will grant access to your account. That's it, you are hacked. So this is really important. The minimum age is changing the password like maybe one every maybe a week only, or one time every 24 hours. At least you will not use a lot of options. But maybe there is something, another thing is called the password history. The password history is that the password server do save all the old passwords of your account, maybe the past 5, the recent 5 or the recent 10 passwords that you have used. Just in case you wanted to repeat a password that you have used the last month, the server will reject it. The server will inform you that this password of 123 ABC, you have used it maybe 2 weeks ago. So please use something new. Maybe after 6 months you will be able to use this password again. This is will decrease the chance of a hacker to guess your password. This is really important about your hacker guessing your password, because hackers will try to guess a password. He will know your name. Maybe he can know from some type of information your maybe birthday or your son or daughter's birthday, and that's it. Now he will try to hack your account. Maybe he will type your name and your birthday. That's it. You can see. So these are things that hackers try their luck with. Maybe plus you have another point is that a hacker will have experience, maybe because he have been hacking people like for 10 years. So now he know how to think like the opposite person, the other person. Maybe he will think that this type of persons use a password from maybe only about numbers or only about letters, etc. So there is a complexity and there is a policy of the length and complexity, but also the age is very important because things might be told from a person to another. So this is the second policy or the second term of the administrative mitigation that I have talked about. Let's talk about the final type or maybe the final branch of the mitigation process, which is the password alternatives. It's not really a I'm sorry, a password alternative. The alternatives are securing something with more than a password. Have you seen any movies of uh, gangs robbing a bank, and where they come to the bank, like the movie of Now You See Me? There is a movie, other movies like of James Bond and Mission Impossible, etc. I don't think it's James Bond because I've never seen it, but I think it's Mission Impossible and Now You Can See Me, and a lot of other movies where there is the some gang one or maybe some thieves wanting to rob a bank. So when they face the big, there was a special name for the where do they save money and gold in the bank. There was a specific term in English. I'm not remembering it right now. I'm only remembering in Arabic. But anyway, the place where they store the money and gold in a bank is protected, maybe by a password, and after that by a fingerprints of the manager, the 10 fingerprints of the manager, and after that a third level of authentication. It's called level of authentications. Is that there are more than one security solution applied to this case or this place that it's storing the money and the important and valuable documents and information. So first it will be a password. After that it will be his voice stamp. After that it will be like his 10 fingers. And finally it will be an iris scan to his eye. So you can see all of those are stages. If all of them are applied and all of them do match that, maybe like the nuclear bomb have like tens of authentications that must be applied before initiating a nuclear bomb. And we all hope that this will never be happening in the world. But like these are just examples. This is the alternatives, like having more than a security solution or more than a security program applied just to protect one thing, just to protect one information or one document. So in the course, we will talk about two things: the two-factor authentication and the multi-factor authentication. The two-factor authentication is like a password and a mobile number, and that's it. Once you enter the correct password, the mobile number, you will grant an access to your account. Multi-factor means that minimum 3 up to maybe 5 or 6 levels of authentication to grant access to a specific account or maybe a website or server, storage, device, whatever. So this is done by using what's called the biometrics and certificates. Biometrics, you can, most of you nowadays use mobile phones. Maybe I know that the Samsung company do produce mobile phones, and in the mobile phones, in the security solution settings, there is a biometric. So you can add your fingerprint, you can add your PIN code, a pattern, an iris scan, and a face recognition. All of those are pattern, and you know, most of you do know, in case you were using an Android mobile phone and even an Apple, I believe Apple also, that you can at the same time add multiple solutions. So in case you can use your hand, it can be a fingerprint. Just in case your hand were dirty, you can just, or you don't want to touch the mobile if you were busy, you can just use an iris scan. Just look to the phone and it will open. That's it. Or a face recognition if you're wearing like glasses, like my case, okay, and it will work. Maybe my Samsung mobile phone can do an iris scan even without, even if I were, if in, when even I'm sorry, when I wear glasses, but etc. But those different solutions of authentication and protection are called biometrics. Certificates is just like biometrics, but it's related more with the passwords. Okay, so beside passwords, just beside passwords, there are other things to protect yourself. Maybe some types of protections are called like the physical card, the identity card. Maybe you can use your physical card when you want to access to a department. I know companies, they secure each department with a physical card. So only the employee of this department is able to access. No one, no outsider can access this department or this bank or this institute. There is something called an OTP, a one-time password. This is the temporal password. That is, this one uses certificates. What happens in this case or in this type of protection, that whenever you want to access maybe to your account, you have already assigned two type of protection to your account. The first one is a password that you should type, and the other one is your mobile phone number. And the next time when you want to access this account, what will the server or the protection system do is that first it will ask for the security code. You will type it normally. After that, it will say that you before assigned a mobile phone. What will happen is that we will send a certificate, or we will send a temporary password for your mobile phone. You can read it from your mobile phone and type it in the next field. See, so this grants that if someone stole your password, he should also steal the mobile phone, because you have to type the password that you remember or memorize, and also type the password, that the temporary password that the system or the server or the protection system did send to your mobile. This will be applied, or this password maybe will have an expiry of like 15 minutes only. After 15 minutes, you have to re-request the same OTP, which is the one-time password. So you can see those are dozens of solutions to protect something from being hacked. And finally, the biometrics that we have talked about, which are the iris scan, fingerprints, and the face recognition. Those are really important to know, and all of you, or maybe most of you, do use them in their mobile phones. There is an iris scan for your eyes. There is a fingerprints. Maybe you can use one or more fingerprint for multiple level or at the same level, and you can use your face recognition. Those biometrics can be used separately, and or maybe can all of them be used at the same time. So these are all the administrative procedures, policies, and criteria of mitigation that you need and you must apply to protect your information, your network, your company, your mobile phone, your accounts, etc. So I hope that all of those are clear to you. In the upcoming video, we will talk about the physical mitigation process. The physical mitigation process will be about something to be applied, just like those things to be applied, and after that will be about configuration. So your network devices like routers and so just in case for the second or the third video so far you got bored that there's no configuration until now, you're just talking, blah blah blah, like just like chapter one, don't worry. In the physical mitigation process, we will talk a small amount. We have a small amount of talking. After that, we will go for configuring and securing our devices. After that, will all be only about config. This chapter will be full of labs and configs. Don't worry. So I hope this video is clear to you. just in case it wasn't, you know where to comment your videos, and meet me in the next video to start talking about the physical mitigation process. Thank you for watching, and hope to see you in the upcoming video. Goodbye.